Hello, Daliacs, and welcome to part 2 of my autobiographical tattoo journey. Hopefully, you've already seen part 1, where I show you most of the tattoos I got in my 20s and talk about my background and my modus operandi of tattoos having to be things that I'm passionate about, but nowadays also have some sort of extra gimmicks, some function, more than just a piece of art. The next video after this is where we really kick off. The reason that I'm doing these videos, to share with you a project that should be of interest to anyone who likes movies, tattoos, or art in general. I've got some mind-blowing footage coming your way. In fact, there's already mind-blowing footage coming your way in this video. I hope that your mind is blowable. You should know already, my first tattoos are things that I was passionate about. So Clint Eastwood, Monty Python, and Salvador Dali, three of the things which ruled my life through my early 20s. But there was another project that I always thought I would get a tattoo of, but only if I thought of something very special. You may or may not know this about me, but when I was 19, I went on a TV show called Countdown, met my hero, Richard Whiteley, and earned this bad boy, this 20-year-old teapot. One of the greatest prizes in game show history. Not worth much, but the bragging rights are invaluable. And I always thought, if I were to get a tattoo of Countdown, what would it be? Obviously, it would have to be a Countdown Conundrum, but I would only do it if I could find a 9-lettered word that meant something to me, but also find a 9-lettered anagram of it that meant something to me as well. And that is a tall order. But during the pandemic, I, like you, I imagine, had plenty of time to do some thinking. And it didn't actually take me all that long when I knuckled down and thought about it to say, you know what, I want a tattoo, I want a Countdown tattoo. Can I come up with, oh, that's a great idea. Yep, found it. I found it really quickly. And it's the perfect 9-letter combination for me. So what I'm going to do is show you a quite elaborate Countdown tattoo I got done by Mog Tattoo in April of 2021. I'll tell you all about the details that we've added after. But first of all, I'm going to whip out my tat and then hit spacebar on my computer, and that will give you 30 seconds to try and solve the anagram. I will warn you, it's difficult. You have to be a true anagramophile, an anagramophile like me to get anywhere close to solving it. So I'll give you 10 seconds to work on it, and then add a few clues. Are you ready? Possibly the world's only tattoo Countdown Conundrum. Ugh. That says it's Python. ITS PYTHON. The anagram of it's Python is a job in the entertainment industry, one which I've had myself. Did you solve the anagram of it's Python? Just interesting bit of trivia at the end of that countdown timer that you'll find on the standard YouTube. You hear a that is the voice of Richard Whiteley taking a breath before he continues. Yes, you have heard the voice of the greatest hero I've ever met. And if you didn't solve it, the answer is hypnotist. Well done if you got hypnotist. That is a particularly difficult conundrum with a Y in the middle of a word or near the beginning. Okay, some details about the tattoo then. So you've got the standard countdown tiles, it's Python. You'll notice there's 3 clocks involved. The clock in the background is the standard countdown clock, as seen on the teapot. Then You've got my stage name spelt out in clocks. Ben, the Big Ben. Darley, second Darley tattoo there. So Ben Darley in clocks. If you there's a couple of extra Easter eggs as well. The times of all three spell out my name in alphabetical numerical sequence. So Big Ben shows 2 o'clock, B being the second letter of the alphabet. The countdown timer is at 5 o'clock, close to 5 o'clock, closer to 4:30 actually, which is E, the fifth letter of the alphabet. Also points at 4:30. I was born on 4:30 in the morning, Friday the 18th of January 1985, I'll have you know. And then N, but hold on, you may be thinking, N's the 14th letter of the alphabet. How are you going to get N on a clock? Well, if you look very carefully, which I'm going to let you, it actually says 13 on the bottom of the Darley clock instead of 6. Surreal, right? Even more surreal, I miscalculated the time, the alphabet numericals. I sat down in the chair with Mog and asked them to just put 13 there because N's the 13th letter of the alphabet without actually stopping to calculate and realise, hold on, it's the 14th letter of the alphabet. I messed up my tattoo. Yeah. Bit of a saver. The time is at the minute hand's actually pointing to 1, so 13 plus 1 equals N. Phew. And something I didn't know until about a month after I got my tattoo, Mog actually hid an extra reference. It says Darley in the drips under the Darley clock. Pretty cool, right? It took a random friend of mine called Sophia to point that out to me, and I wasn't sure if it was on purpose and Mog hadn't mentioned it, or just a happy coincidence, and Mog just assumed that I would have spotted it, but I didn't. Excuse me. So this is It's Python, referring to Monty Python, another of my fanaticisms, as I'm sure you're aware. And there is the Python in question. Cute little guy, isn't he? But what's up with his body? That's an interesting body, isn't it, for a snake? Well, it's actually the body of a tie that Richard Whiteley gave me at the end of my episode. This is my most prized possession. At the end of the episode I won in 2004, I asked Richard if I could wear one of his ties in the next episode. He gave me one of his favourites, the one that he wore in my first episode. And then he also gave a tie to everyone else in the studio, the Dictionary Corner, Carol, and the other contestant, the one that beat me. And at the end of the episode, he gave me the tie that the guy who beat me was wearing and said, "Here, you can keep this. I don't think I'll ever wear it again." So this is my most prized possession. You can actually see that full episode of Countdown on my channel. I'll pop a link in the comments below. So that is my comeback tattoo, the first one of my 30s. And you, by the way, if you haven't seen the first video, I did mention that I've got a second tattoo I haven't shown you yet. For those eagle-eyed amongst you, it's a game, it's a cult, it's a worldwide obsession. Can you find my second tattoo? Show you at the end of the video if you haven't seen it yet.